Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck, you suck, I suck at Call of Duty.
Welcome to the Not Playing Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and today I'm joined by
Marcus Hurley.
And
Will.
We had the big state of play gameplay reveal of Horizon Forbidden West just before E3, which I thought looked most impressive. They didn't give us a release date for it, but they did mention that it was not just going to be a PlayStation 5 game, it's going to be cross-gen.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. But then it looks pretty amazing. I mean, it looks as amazing as anything that they showed in E3. So I don't know really what more you want.
I think Sony's plan was to get enough PlayStations manufactured. They hadn't counted on worldwide pandemics affecting production and all of that sort of stuff. They thought that anyone who wanted to buy one would get one, and therefore they'd be able to say, I'm only releasing it on that platform to get everyone onto it. It's just unfortunately not worked out. And in hindsight, Microsoft's strategy of, yes, everything's going to be cross-gen for the next couple of years, so we can engineer this pandemic so everyone can get the vaccine so that Bill Gates can control us all, appears to have worked out nicely. By the way, can I just point out... No, hang on. Sorry, I have to do my little asterisk thing at the end of that's a joke, and I don't believe any of that shit, because there might be some tinfoil hat-wearing wankers listening to this, and I'd like to point out to them that they're wrong and stupid. And if I've upset them, they can fuck off. Totally. Right off. All the way
Sure.
off. Done.
Yeah, no, they totally got ahead of it, I think, in a way, which has paid off for them. I think there is probably going to be a bit of some disgruntlement around the whole PlayStation community at the lack of love that they're getting. But they have got a whole new game to play that I will talk about very soon, instead of an E3 full of promises. So, I mean, any thoughts on Forbidden West, or shall I just start talking about it?
It was beautiful, it was pretty. I will wait to play it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I won't get to wait to play it. I'll probably read the reviews anyway, because I won't own a PlayStation 5 until they release a smaller one. Probably.
But you don't need one. You don't need one to play it.
I'm not getting on the PS4. My PS4 is basically dead.
PC?
Well, PC,
Will there be a PC version?
There will, Marcus, but it won't come out until 3 to 4 years after release.
Yeah, and it'll be a buggy port, won't it?
No, it's not about that. No, Sony's method on PC releases is get the PlayStation, buy it, play it first on PlayStation. Eventually, we'll let other people play it, but really, if you want our games, you need to buy a PlayStation.
Yeah.
That's their approach. Whereas Microsoft is just like, buy the game. Don't care where.
Yeah, but that's because they've got a foot in each camp, haven't they? They're not fully a console.
No, they're born and bred on PCs. Why would they ignore it?
Exactly. No, I have played a bit of the PC version of Horizon Zero Dawn, and it looked really good. It looked like a modern game that had just been released and never been available anywhere else.
Yeah.
So, they're good enough.
It was a beautiful game from day one.
Yeah, and you can't deny that, and it's aged well.
Yeah,
it's aged well on PlayStation, and it's aged well so much that they've been able to make a sequel to it on the same platform, and it still looks amazing. They showed there's some underwater stuff. Looks like there's a few new toys there, like some kind of ways to grapple. Lots of destructible
she's got a
terrain.
Breath of the Wild 2 glider as well, which is always handy.
That's right. Yeah. And there's some destructible scenery. Looks like there's lots of layers to the enemies now, so you can shoot their armour off and it all falls off them quite nicely. Yeah. So that's quite cool. But that's all stuff that you can do on a PlayStation 4.
Absolutely, that's the thing. Yeah, I think the trouble is I don't play my PlayStation 4. It's the sort of game I know will be at its best when I've got a PlayStation 5, and I'll get a PlayStation 5 and I'll cover that backlog. I'm not so short of games that I need to rush out and get it on a platform where it's inferior. I'd much rather just wait and get the best platform to play it on and enjoy it.
Absolutely. I mean, the only reason I got a PlayStation 5 was because I was facing
bored.
another. Well, I was bored off my fucking nut. Yeah, that's why. And I was like, I'm going to be stuck here on my own, being bored. So I will just get all the toys.
Certainly, my perspective right now is the sunshine is back, and the warmth is back, and the delightfulness is back. When we get back to sort of late October, November, and the weather gets shit again, I might look at it and go, yeah, maybe I need a PlayStation again. But right now, no. I've got my PC and it's beautiful, and I've got my world outside the house, which I've not had enough of.
Yeah, no, that's good, yeah. Definitely spending less time in front of it myself.
So, tell us about the lombax, or lombaxes. What's the plural of lombax? Is it one lombax, two lombax? Or is it one lombax?
Lombi?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Well, do they even have a plural for it? Because there's only two of them.
Well, yeah, but the point is, in every other game, there was only one lombax. He was the last lombax, so you weren't going to say there are no more lombaximus or lombaximus. I don't know. So tell us about the lombax.
Right, well, yeah, so I know these games have been going on for a while, but I've never really got involved because they always looked a bit childish to me.
I think they're wonderful, and I've played every single one.
Yeah,
Except this.
Yeah, you have said about this. So I'm new to this, but it's not like I didn't feel like I was walking into an incredibly elaborate world.
Sorry.
Or
Pause for just a moment. Marcus, have you played any of the Ratchet and Clank games?
Were they PS2 or PS3?
PS2, I think was the first.
I played some earlier ones, yeah. I think I played it on PS2.
Have they been going that long?
Yeah. The original Ratchet and Clank,
not like a huge amount of them, but yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't a recent one just simply called Ratchet and Clank, though?
Yes, but that was a remake of the Ratchet and Clank that was out in 2003, because I remember playing that with our mutual friends up in Scotland. So,
Right.
That's when I was introduced, was by our mutual friend Bex, to Ratchet and Clank, because she was a bit shit at the skateboarding ones and needed help from a proper gamer.
Yeah. Yeah, no, John said the kids have played them all to death.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, well, God, don't let
They're not
Dylan
kids.
round here.
Rob, are they just kids' games?
No, not really. They're quite cool, actually. I've only played through like the first 3 or 4 levels of it. I don't imagine it's going to take me very long.
It's not a big game
to finish. No, but basically, like the first part of the game has more stuff going on in it than like the end bit procession of Phantom Menace. Like there's so much shit going on that you just don't know what to look at. And it's kind of a mercy that the gameplay is quite sort of spongy and forgiving, because it's just like you just want to kind of go through it, really.
So I'm just baffled. I'm sorry. I have to rewind. I've thought about it for a few moments. I can't get it. You've gone with the game's more confusing than a bit of the Phantom Menace, right?
Just like I'm talking about the amount of stuff going on the screen.
Okay.
Like it's just like so much detail, so many moving parts.
Oh, okay. And this is driven by the graphics engine, so this is kind of a compliment, I take it.
Yeah, no, I'm not complaining about it at all.
No, sorry. What you're saying, the screen's busy. There's lots going on. Is it distractingly so, or?
No, it's just incredible. It's like It's like playing through a Pixar film.
Cool.
Yeah, but Pixar films are like less busy than that. They're a bit more.
Let you focus on the thing in the middle.
Kind of like the scene in The Fifth Element where you see outside for the first time before the cars go by.
That's a good bit.
There's definitely bits when you do arrive at like the first major city, and it's just like you sort of have a vague. You sort of have a vague idea of where you would go, and it looks like it's really far away. And then the mission's like you just go up on the rooftops and you're just flying through it at speed.
Oh, wow.
and it's like how like oh right, I'm here already. It's like that Unreal demo where it was like you're just kind of flying through like miles of like elaborate scenery that's all really individually animated and stuff. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Whereas in other games, it would take you a while to traverse to get there.
Having pictured the old ones...
you probably have a few cutscenes to help load it in as well as you go. Like.
I mean, the Ratchet and Clank games have always been madly busy, so much going on, ships flying overhead, wild animals, monsters, plants swaying in the wind, and I just bet with the extra power they've got, because this is not one they've done on the PS4 as well, this is pure... current gen. Next gen, whatever it is gen now, pure PS5, I suspect it's everything I picture in my head from the Ratchet and Clank games, which are amazingly busy and more. So, yeah.
It just wouldn't work on previous gen.
No, wouldn't have enough.
The very premise of it would not work.
Yeah, the flipping between the different levels, loading them in and out, wouldn't be possible, I don't think. There's also like no loading in between like scenes. You know, you just get a nice little transition of like planet.
Yeah, but God of War did that, right? Is that if that's what you mean?
Yeah. God of War they've had that down for a while.
God of War was so clever, and then Ghost of Tsushima was quick. So they've been getting better on the old tech, clearly, as they're learning stuff ready for PS5. And I suspect, I completely believe that there's nothing.
Yeah, the whole Portal tech isn't quite as amazing as I thought it might be. It does seem a bit directed and scripted and stuff.
Yeah,
and only really available in certain bits.
Maybe the trailers making it look like you could literally almost just switch between worlds at will. It's more a case of you can jump around in the area and in scripted occasions.
Yeah, but there's no doubt you are like instantly basically moving the level around you.
Is it still impressive?
Like when you yeah, it's still quite cool, like because it's like literally like when you go on one of those portals, it's like the whole level moves rather than you are. You know, it's seamless.
So I've got this mental image. So you can see Ratchet still because it's third person. You can see that, and then the entire
and then
time
it's just like the world
so
zooms
like
around
vanishes,
you.
It's he stays there, and the level changes. Okay, that I can picture as being. Now I've got a mental image now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a little disorientating at first, but I soon got used to it. And it's got some cool weapons. I mean, I could probably play this on a harder difficulty, but I feel like really they just want to serve it up to you and
it's fun.
Just have a good time, really. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like
so.
Yeah. No, that's the thing.
It doesn't feel like the sort of game I should be.
Always have been.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the sort of game I want to be stressing about, like how much ammo I've got, you know.
Yeah.
Where my health gauge
Go
is,
in,
I
blow
die,
everything up. Absolutely that. No, I've always adored the Ratchet and Clank games for just being pure computer game fun.
Yeah, no, it's been fun so far. There's obviously a new character that I mean, it's all new to me. Rivet is like a female lombax.
Yeah, the lombax,
and she's got her own deal.
No, that was Terminator. Go.
I think it's good that I played a few games like this in the run up to it, and it wasn't intentional, but I played like obviously the robot demo thing that comes with the PlayStation 5.
Oh yes, something bot,
the Astrobot. Yeah, so I played that, and that was quite simple with not like a lot of combat.
Yeah,
or
I always assumed that was basically like Clank. Have you had a level on Ratchet and Clank where you just play Clank? And you jump around as the little...
Yeah, I did one where I had all of his possibilities.
Yeah.
And it was a bit like Lemmings.
Yeah.
Where you have to sort of like redirect them and use these little jump pads and combine them with like speed and stuff. So I had to do a bit of that. But there was another game I played which was the Trover Saves the Universe, which was a VR game, but it was also a sort of third-person jumping platformer sort of game as well. So... I was definitely sort of teed up for this one.
It's worth mentioning for the listeners, anyone who's got a PlayStation 4 and PS Plus should have a free copy available to them on the PS Store still of the Ratchet and Clank remake from a couple of years ago, which is excellent. So if anyone's kind of thinking, this sounds interesting, can't really get a PS5 right now, but if you've got PS Plus... you can buy probably a hard copy of it for a tenner. That game is also excellent. and it's got all of this fun stuff to it, which is probably not as pretty. Sorry, carry on, Rob.
It's all right. Yeah, no, there's some cool moments where you jump on the back of these like snails or something, and they go really fast, and they've got like a boost.
Snails are quite famous for that.
Yep. Well, they are in this one. But there's a cool mission where you've got like this flying boss, and you have to jump off this ramp to get on top of it, ram it, and then then you drop on the floor, and then you're shooting at it. So it is like there are some really cool moments.
Does it make sense that this is the studio that did the PS4 Spider-Man games?
Yes, 100%.
Colourful fun.
Yeah, really good
nice.
Characters, just like absolutely all firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, but you see, I went for Spider-Man because of Ratchet and Clank. You've gone for Ratchet and Clank because of Spider-Man.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, it's funny how it works out, isn't it? We've just come at it from different angles, but essentially, it's Insomniac fucking rule.
They're very good. They're very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, I would consider any game made by them as a day one purchase.
Yeah, you see, I said the same about Bethesda once, but now at least it's just part of the subscription because after Fallout 76, I'd be a bit wary of that, but now, because it comes in the subscription, it's not a day one purchase, it's just a day one play, and that's much better.
Day one access, yeah.
What have you been playing, Marcus?
Yeah, I did.
What have you been playing, Marcus? Anything interesting?
Oh, God. I've actually, I finally got my copy of Guilty Gear.
Ooh, so it's out of beta.
It's released. I actually forgot it was a digital copy. I was waiting for it to turn up in the post. And I was like, oh shit, it's
digital
out.
only, is it? Is it only digital?
No, it's got a physical copy as well. But I'd bought the digital one because I wanted to play it soon as.
Oh, okay.
And completely you've got to download it. Yeah.
He forgot the key.
I blame it on puppy brain. I just
it's like baby brains, they're not allowed to breastfeed.
No, but that's been a bit of fun getting back into it again. I'm liking it. I haven't played as much of it as I wanted to, but yeah, I'm very happy. It's a game I'm glad I own.
Did your brothers pick it up as well? Have you been able to play online?
Yeah, my brother's been playing it. He's already kicked my ass a couple of times, as per the usual. He's one of those properly heavier, old school sort of gamers. He actually has an arcade stick and plays on the PlayStation with that. And I was like, cool. Bloody hell! So yeah, I've got one I bought way back in the day, and I want to see whether it's compatible. I've got a Namco arcade stick from God knows how long ago now, but it's a great job, and apparently it's still one of the best ones for components. But it was a PS2 compatible one, but I think you can still get converters. It's all about the conversion sort of thing. So I think with the PS3 it was all USB sort of style sockets, and you could get a conversion thing for that. So I'll see if I've got that kicking around somewhere, and then see if the PS4 will pick that up, and then maybe I can get some training, or just stick with D-pad and burn my thumbs. But as well as that, I also jumped into a game I've not played in God knows how long, Virtua Fighter.
Bloody hell.
Now this game was the last version of Virtua Fighter I owned was Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution, and this was way back in the day. I think a PS3 or something. Had a really nice interface, and it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. Another game that me and my brothers used to play avidly.
Is this Virtua Fighter 5?
Virtua Fighter 5. It was actually tacked onto one of the Yakuza games. There was like a later version of it. I think it was like.
I think I've got this as well.
It was in there. It was called Final Showdown, and then basically the people who make Yakuza took that game and then redid all the sprites and the backgrounds and everything, and it's now been released as Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. So it's.
Yeah, that's what really, I got. I do have this. I just need to get another controller.
Yeah, it's awesome because if you've got PS Plus, it's actually a PS Plus game at the moment this month, so you can actually get it technically for free if you've got a PS Plus subscription. It's $24.99, which sounds a lot, but you also get the $7.99 DLC, so you get the original Virtua Fighter sprites. So you get all of the newer characters in their sort of Virtua Fighter 1 polygon-looking styles and stuff like that, which is... I've seen it before, and it's pretty fun. You get the old stages and stuff as well. But yeah, it's just nice seeing Virtua Fighter back, because it's been so long. It's just mental. So I've got that. I've got the free version at the moment. I think I will make the purchase and buy the full game one, simply because it's a game that I love. I've already started playing it a little bit. Get my ass kicked online, but it's that kind of game. You know, the initial thing, anyone mashing buttons can literally kick your ass. And it's got like a really high skill wall, but a fairly simple barrier to entry initially. But then a lot of fighting games are like that with Street Fighter and stuff like that. And quickly, another game that I've started playing. I seem to be going a weird sort of games from my past keep coming back now, and it's really weird. Phantasy Star Online, New Genesis, another Sega game. I've just got that for the Xbox.
Checks in the post.
And that's a free-to-play game. It's a free-to-play game, and mate, if you gave me a full copy, check would be in the post. But yeah, no, I think I mentioned in years ago. Well, I mentioned in loads of podcasts. The first game of this on the Dreamcast was my first introduction to sort of maybe MMORPGs and stuff, and just that whole weird, crazy world where you log on to a server in order to play a game and stuff. You could play it offline and online as well, and meet up with other people, and you know, you'll get parties, and you could play it offline as well and stuff. And just seeing that, I mean, I played the original version of PSO2 when it was in Japan only. There was a kit you could do so you could install it in England, and it was kind of like a neat little conversion kit, so it translated a lot of the files and stuff. So I was still, I think I'm still getting emails from the Japanese server, which I can't read because they're in Japanese. But yeah, but this is a new. I did when I was really good at Japanese. It taxed me, but this is basically another version of the game. So it should really be PSO3, but they've taken the PSO2 game and they've basically just redone it. It's almost like Final Fantasy XIV, A New Realm, where they just cleared the board and gone, look, we're going to rebuild this thing, and then we're going to release it worldwide rather than just in Japan and North America, which the original version was. So it's had a bit of a ropey launch because the servers have been crunching because millions of people have been logging on now, and but I'm looking forward to it. I'm one of those kind of sad people that would happily try and remake my avatar from my old GameCube version and sort of try and get into this game and see what the new mechanics are and stuff. Because it's kind of like playing a new Sonic game to me. It's like that sort of thing. It's like when I played Sonic Mania, where it's like it feels familiar, but there's like different mechanics and it's slightly different. But it's that sort of... Yeah, it is. I'll fully admit there is some nostalgia goggles going on. But fuck it, it's a game I like. Don't care.
I tell you what, it probably looks better than it did when you first played it. I mean, it's like 4K 60 on the PlayStation 5.
I won't get that on my Xbox, but I don't mind.
Probably will get 60 frames.
Yeah,
reckon.
probably hit about 50 or something, depending on connection and stuff like that. But I reckon, I'm happy with it, to be honest, especially it being a free to play model initially. But you can also buy it as a physical copy for like 24 or whatever. So I'm using the 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate. It's actually on Game Pass as well. So I'm using the 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate to try this out as well. And
you're playing on the Xbox?
Yeah, I am.
Do it.
Cool.
And yeah, well, my PC's never going to be able to handle it. The last time I played a PSO game, I was just like using the keyboard and mouse and not knowing what the fuck was going on with the storyline.
Yeah, I know.
Who's this bloke talking to me in symbols? Fuck off. I'm shooting this little chicken thing in the face.
Yeah, I bought my PC 6 months ago and already I need to chuck it in the bin.
That's because mine's slightly better.
But that's part of it, yeah. And they've released a new graphics card, Will, that makes ours look like shit.
Yeah.
It runs things at an extra like 1.6 frames per second.
Oh, man. You can
Which
see
means
all of those
chucking
1.6 frames.
It's obsolete.
So, can I talk about the
like
game
you
I
can-
played? Which is
Go for it.
it's a proper little indie called King of Seas. We've mentioned it before. It's not Sea of Thieves. It's certainly not Assassin's Creed 4. It is, oh God, Marcus, that game from the PlayStation 1.
Overboard?
Overboard. It's very similar to that. You can literally ride your pirate ship around, and you're using the arrow keys to loop left, loop right, turn round, up, down to change the sails levels. But inside of that, you've then got... Okay, so let me take a step back. It calls itself an RPG. I'm a bit dubious. It's available on Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, Switch, GOG. It's available everywhere. I've had quite a lot of fun with it. The whole concept is, and it's in the classic Japanese anime way, you're a prince or a princess who your father, the king, has been murdered by his brutally nasty second in command. You've been blamed for it. Therefore, they've then sunk your ship. You've been adopted by pirates, and you have to, as a pirate, take it back over. Now, I haven't completed it, but basically, you sail around in your pirate ship, you sink other ships. This is a pure single player. You sink other ships as you to gain experience and to get better loot. As you level up, you get better loot. You improve your ship. You do little missions, but mostly you sail around and you fire the cannons out of the left side or the right side. And you have some special magical powers, but really you just try and shoot ships with your cannons. And it's just kind of fun. You can go to little places and you can say that rum is cheaper here, and I've heard a rumour that it's really expensive over there, and you can swap ship types to take your clipper from one place to another, or you can just say, no, frigate, I'm going to have a frigate, pirate frigate, specifically.
See,
and it's got more cannons, and I'm going to sink other ships, and you don't play in any third person, it's all overhead. If you go to a ship and you talk, it's just a little menu screen, and then you're back on your ship, but you're just this pirate ship.
So you're not a pirate, you're always on the ship.
You're a ship, yes. Basically,
you're a pirate ship.
Yeah, you're a pirate ship the whole time. You're never really a person. But you're just
You're a pirate ship, Harry.
Controlling this little vehicle round a map, shooting down other ships, trading, swashbuckling. I got a bit bored after about probably 17 hours. I'll go back to it after a bit.
Why you give it a good old crack?
It's good fun. I'm quite enjoying it.
I'll go back to
Yeah.
last 17 hours.
Yeah, it seems like it has a plateau. See, that's the thing. This kind of game, I don't want
It's
it
only
to be...
I need to grind a bit more. It's a little bit grindy.
Yeah,
I need to get to the next level so I can complete the next mission.
I kind of think this is the kind of game that would benefit from not necessarily the multiplayer approach, because that can ruin
a cooperative.
But a co-op.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, if I could just dial in a
up
friend.
to 4 people co-op.
No,
could you imagine?
2 would be
3
plenty.
of you, or 2.
Yeah,
2 of your mates, one either side.
Yeah,
2 wingmen,
no,
wing
to run it
ships.
as a fleet and work together would be perfect in this particular
that
game.
would be awesome. 1 drawing them away, 2 going round the back or whatever. And,
just to cooperate as a little fleet of pirate ships would be perfect. The game's got the potential. The next one may even do that. The best bit was, in the first when I finally discovered how to do side missions, one of the characters So basically I went into the inn and I selected the first side mission. They went, our budget's very low for side missions. And it was clearly this. This is a proper little indie. It's fun. I played £12. You'd probably pick it up in a Steam sale for a fiver. Buy it. It's a lovely little game. It's fun. If you can pick it up on the Switch and you commute, it'll be a commute murderer. Well, each to their own. I have had it on one screen, twiddling around while I'm trying to do video conferencing on another. It all works. But, it's a good fun little game.
Nice.
I'd go with it.
Cool.
The other thing...
I've got
Sorry.
Oh, you've got one more.
I've got one more thing I've been playing. So I've been playing the Borderlands 3 DLC. I bought the season pass, and I just thought I would mention that there is one. I'm currently working on the DLC Moxie's Heist of the Handsome Jackpot, which will mean nothing.
I saw that, I think.
Yeah. Which is basically a Ocean's 11 style casino raid, and all I will say is it's quite good fun. That's the DLC is on a summer games sale thing. I picked it up for maybe 16 quid for additional levels. I thought I'd give it a punt, and yeah, it's perfectly good fun. Lots more gold weapons. It's quite entertaining. It's not exactly amazing, but yeah, it's more Borderlands.
I completely forgot that you played that Borderlands 3. Like, did you finish that?
Yeah, no, I finished the first one. Oh, crikey. Must have been the summer before. Oh, God, back in the days when you could finish it and go down the pub with 12 mates if you wanted to. That's how long ago it was. But yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I just got a couple of things I'd like to mention before we call it a day. I played Before Your Eyes, which is the game that you play by blinking.
Oh, yes. Give me more detail on that, honestly.
Basically, you're basically playing a child who is sick and dying of cancer.
Oh, more of this fun laugh-a-minute stuff that you go for, right?
Yeah, well, I heard that it was all like, people were playing it in tears and stuff, and I was like, oh, God. I was like, I don't really want to play that given some of the personal things I've had going on lately.
Oh, but I must admit, I mean, cancer children, what could be more fun?
Well, I was trying to avoid it, but everyone was banging on, so I was like, oh, I've got to try this then.
Who's everyone,
But it was all right. The internet.
Oh, don't listen to those pricks.
No, but it was a cool idea. I see what they were trying to go for. It's quite a small team. You still move the mouse and look at things, but the whole idea is that you are like there are sections where when you blink, like you can't control it; it just moves. So that they're sort of the metaphor. I think is that life's over in the blink of an eye. You don't have any control over everything that's happening.
Oh, you know what? Tell you what, Rob. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm so up for Plague Tale as a bit of cheerful fun now.
Right, yeah, okay. So you see what I mean? Why when you say that looks a bit miserable, I'm like, what? You have no idea, mate.
When you say that looks stupid, I think, yeah, stupid is fun. Stupid is as stupid does.
Yeah, no, maybe I need some more of that going on. I also played Stories Untold, which I've had hanging around for ages. It basically starts like a text adventure, and you're just looking like at a sort of rendered screen, like of an old.
Oh, I've heard about this
game.
one. This one, yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool because you're basically like, it starts off and like you're sort of going, you get out of the car, you go into the house, the door's locked, the lights aren't on, go round the back, turn the generator on, go up the stairs, you go in, there's a game on.
Takes me back to the classic 1980s early text adventures is the kind of feel I get from that. Sorry, for people listening, you might just be listing what you do of an evening. But yeah.
No, you're sort of having to imagine a lot more than what you're seeing, It's like a choose your own adventure.
It's like I say to the wife commands. When we get amorous. Sorry, yeah.
It's like what games all used to be.
Yeah.
All games used to be like
that as well.
So, but that's episode 1, and that's got like some weird twist in it. And then that only lasts for like an hour or so. And then there's like a second episode where, which one's the second episode? Yeah, you're like almost like you've got all these devices. 2. Yeah, and then there's a third one where you're sort of like a lookout in like a numbers station, and you have to look for a manual, and it does get a little bit convoluted and annoying.
So how did you find this game? Where's this come from?
I believe it was free on the Epic Store 1 week.
Oh, okay, the whole thing.
Yeah, all of it. Yeah.
Well, that's super cool.
Yeah, the whole thing you can probably do in about 4 or 5 hours.
I will point out that I got Control, which I've had on PlayStation Plus and then had on PlayStation Now, but now on the Epic Store, which is a superb game. that
Yeah.
still depresses me. But that's free on. Well,
That
probably gone now.
depresses you, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's just like a bit spooky.
How many laughs are there, Rob?
Well, there aren't any laughs, no, but I suppose constant laughter is the order of the day.
Occasional chuckles would be a start. Anyway,
I remember when games didn't ever have humour.
Really?
Like, at all.
Really?
Like, they didn't convey them. Well, I suppose maybe in the way things looked, but it's only in the last sort of, say, decade or so that I've found them genuinely funny.
Bull.
Maybe like No One Lives Forever,
Shit.
whenever that came out. Yeah?
Yeah. You fight like a dairy farmer.
Oh, right, yeah, okay, that goes back a bit. Yeah.
Anyone got
Yeah,
the
no, I
response?
suppose you're right.
How appropriate.
How appropriate you fight like a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, okay. Busted on that one.
And
All right,
I can take you
just
back to
quickly...
the Spectrum days if it comes to it. I just have to think harder. But anyway, sorry.
All right, okay. So, Ori and the Will-O'-the-Wisps, I'm playing that again. Absolutely spectacular on the OLED TV because he's a little white man and really the colours pop. I updated my graphics drivers the other day and it loaded the game up not in HDR because that's not Windows default.
Sorry, I just need to do some administration. Sorry, Rob managed to tick off the OLED TV this episode. I can't tell if we've done one big episode or two, so I just need to cover it. My PC is slightly more powerful than Rob's. There we go.
Yeah,
administration done. We can move on.
Okay. All right. So I just wanted to point out how amazing that looked. Anyway, but yeah, like I said, like it really does look totally different when you're not playing with HDR on and stuff. So, yeah, but anyway, and I started playing No Man's Sky, which has taken me about 6 years to get to.
Oh, how is it?
I think it's quite. I don't know what it was like on launch, but as soon as you boot the game up now, there's like 5 different ways to play it.
Right.
Like multiplayer, survival. But anyway, it just starts you off and you're basically running out of oxygen and like you're going to die, so you have to mine some things.
It's like going
what they
clubbing.
call a tree puncher.
Yep.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'll tell you what is like going clubbing when you go in Ratchet and Clank and there's a club and all the sub is coming out of the controller at you. That's fucking good. Yeah, but with like... I think I had to do a firmware update on the controller the day before that game came out. Anyway. But yeah, No Man's Sky, it's really colourful. I tried it a few different times. It is very random. The ship is quite cool, the way you control that. I'm playing it all with a controller, obviously. But yeah, it starts off and it does it does a much better job of onboarding you than some games, like with such scope, like it seems quite straightforward. They are throwing a lot of information at you, but it's all because you've got like, you're upgrading your gadgets and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, you find your ship and it says, we need this, you need to go off and get this bit to fix this. So I have got off my planet and flown to another planet. And then you get there and you've got to find something else. I mean, it's a procedural game, but it doesn't seem boring. But there's no combat as such. I've so far I'm just about to build a base. But yeah, I just thought I'd give it a go because I was thinking I would like a game that I could play in VR if I wanted to, but I don't have to. So there's that. And finally, I just wanted to mention I finished Gears Tactics, which was great. Spent ages on that. Fucking Game Pass got their money out of me for that, definitely. And I finished Cyberpunk, finally.
You finished... Oh, Jesus. I've been playing Cyberpunk. Actually, it's worth... If we can just circle on this for a bit. Now, Cyberpunk...
Yeah.
I got slightly further than I did the first time round I played it, but it's not really improved much. I got to a point where combat was incredibly samey. I went for a technomancer approach. And whenever I saw someone, I could either see them directly or from a distance. I just murdered them remotely. And it was boring again. I just found the combat dull. The story was actually
it's not
quite
very challenging,
good,
is it?
But the combat... No, I upped the difficulty. And it was just dull. I don't know...
Yeah, I can imagine
Yeah.
it getting a bit dull if you're not able to sink them in 3 shots.
Basically, I held down... At the moment I saw an enemy, I held down tab, and one of my abilities would just murder them. If it didn't murder them the first time, I'd duck behind a bit of cover, and then the second time I'd hold down tab, select an ability that would murder them. It was just too easy, and this was on hard difficulty. I just found it not challenging.
Yeah, no, it's not. All the systems are really undercooked.
Yeah. The lack of depth again, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's where you go, right, yeah, but they made The Witcher. Obviously, Cyberpunk's going to be good. But when you think about Cyberpunk, it's like, it's nothing like The Witcher.
People complain about The Witcher's combat. Well, I always enjoyed The Witcher's combat. Maybe I'm bad.
I think their swordplay was fine, but I don't think they know how to make... I don't think CD Projekt know how to make a first-person game fun.
Well, I think there might be some scientific evidence to prove that they don't, or financial.
I think they do. I think they do tell a good yarn, and they do know how to make things look pretty.
True.
So, and I think that's what kind of kept me going through it.
Was the end? Was the story good at the end?
I think it definitely did a good job of acknowledging your choices through the game a bit, and complementing that or servicing that. You know, I felt like at the end of it that the story had an arc. I think they must have been quite obsessed with that.
Yeah.
But I got to the point of no return at about 40 hours in, played it for another 20 hours, by which point the final mission became like sub-difficulty,
Yeah.
So you're just going through it.
Through the motions.
You get to choose how you... But you do get to choose how you do it. Like, the strongest points of that game are the choices you can make, the characters that you meet, the environments that you go to.
Yeah.
But as an actual game, it's a fucking mess.
Yeah, once again, so CD Projekt Red, like with The Witcher, although I enjoyed the combat in The Witcher personally, it's about the stories, the exploration, all of that stuff. Once again,
apparently even The Witcher was a mess when it came out, though.
I liked it immediately.
A lot of people said that it kind of became a better game with
they did releases that improved it, but the trouble is with Cyberpunk, they've only done a couple of updates after a year, pretty much, and those have mostly been bug fixes because The Witcher was released without that many bugs.
I think the problems with Cyberpunk are unfixable.
Yeah,
in my opinion, it's never going to hit the heights. And I think The Witcher was released. Even they improved it, but I think it was released in a much better state.
Yeah.
Like, for example, it was on sale for PlayStation 4 and remained on sale for PlayStation 4 for its entire run. They didn't have to pull the game.
Rather than being I've never heard of a game delisted from the AAA category.
It's a fucking embarrassment.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a fucking colossal fucking embarrassment.
Yeah.
And I'll look back at it fondly just for those sort of like cool little interactions with Keanu and stuff. And
I mean, the environment looks amazing. What I've seen of it,
it looks graphically beautiful game.
Absolutely stunning. Like the craftsmanship's gone into it. I really feel for them.
I think the trouble is, to an extent, Marcus, is Rob and I were so excited for that game.
Well, no. I was hoping it would be a brilliant game. I wouldn't have got around to playing it until a while, but I was hoping it was going to be this phenomenal sort of almost Akira-style, Blade Runner-style mashup.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Fantastic sort of, you could go into these seedy little joints and...
There are moments like that, though. There are bits like that.
Yeah, but side missions... Yeah. Well, I just think
there's
it's a shame
There's bits where you go, oh, right, I've got quite a lot of money. I feel like maybe I'll upgrade my arm.
Yeah.
and then you go through the streets and it's raining and you wind through the market and you go to the Ripper Doc and you have a conversation with the Ripper Doc.
Yeah.
You don't just press a button but it's when you go and talk to him, go to the shop, it's just like, here is a list. Here is your slot. You can put that thing in the slot and it puts this number on it.
Yeah,
and then you come out of it and it looks no different.
If I may, it's exactly the conversations, the interactions, and so many of the story points are excellent. But the gunplay, the combat, the gameplay itself is so shallow. The city is alive. And yet, if you try to drive a car, you will crash it every fucking time you try to take a corner.
It looks awful, the driving.
The driving,
they don't really turn.
Yeah, exactly. So they've thought about the storytelling.
Like
they've thought about the immersive
mechanics.
world, except all the gameplay elements. And it's tragic because they could have made the driving sharper. They could have made the gunplay better. I'm not saying it's a simple thing, trust me. But get
it's time spent on those elements. Yeah.
You look at Machine Games, who did the Wolfenstein games. Get them in for the shooting, poach some people from their studio. Trust me, I'm not saying become Microsoft, but poach people from here, poach people from there.
Just collab. Just get in it. Get people in.
Get experts on each element. They've told the story beautiful. The stories are excellently told. The animation, the facial detail is exceptional. Yeah. It's the gameplay that let it down.
But that's the thing, is from the feel that they were given, they're the studio that should have been doing that.
Yeah.
They break there's no mould for them. You know, I'm just gutted because all of the kind of, when it's ready, it's ready. It comes across as arrogance now, whereas before it was kind of. I like that they're saying no, we're not going to push this. We're gonna take our time crafting this thing, and then when it's ready, we're going to release it. Whereas now you look back on all of that, and it's not arrogant of them saying that, but it just comes across as arrogance now because of the end product. Yeah. And
they had lots of big ideas, but they didn't get the fundamentals right.
But they should have been the people to do that, to just say, look, we can't do this.
Anyhow,
we're going to go to the people that can do this well, and we're going to build something fucking amazing. And, the whole thing of we're not going to bow to this and that, we're not going to just release this when it's, it's not finished and stuff. You'd think that with that ethos that they were putting across, they would just go to a studio and be like, you do this really good.
I agree. However,
can we hire you to do this? But then, because it's not done, but they're the people that you would think would be the first to do that.
But can we finish this podcast on a cheerful note?
Yeah.
Because, I'm just conscious we've spent about the last 20 minutes slamming that game.
Yeah,
Who's got some good news to finish on?
I'm looking forward to
I've
more games.
I've got all my stuff. I've done it all.
Come on. One little note, or do we end up with a cheerful song? Should we all sing together? Come on. we can't just leave it as it is.
Rob's done everything, and bad mistakes.
Well, Ratchet and Clank's good fun if you've got a PlayStation 5, but most people don't, so that's miserable as well.
King of Seas is fun. What's your one?
E3 sucked balls, but there are some games coming out. So
right. Okay, I've got one. Right,
Go on.
I've got it. So I know we're going back to E3 again, like we did on the last episode.
On the previous episode, yes.
But if there's one game that you could have delivered to your home tomorrow from E3, which one would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
From the ones they showed.
Oh, hang on, I could get my list of notes out of the bin.
One game delivered to my home. Is that with the system with it as well?
You know what? For me...
Yeah, I'd really like Starfield, but I've got nothing to play on.
If there were a game that would just get me going, Trek to Yomi from Devolver, the two-dimensional Ghost of Tsushima. That's the one I would take.
Okay.
It just looks fascinating. It looks a proper Kurosawa side-scroller Shinobi taking you back, but in black and white with mad Japanese stuff. So long as it's got subtitles, we'll be fine. It's basically Shinobi, I think, but with a proper classic
but old
Japanese.
school. Yeah, that looks fucking wicked.
Yeah, no, I'm well up for that. That's me.
Yeah. So, Marcus, assuming you've got the rig to play it on, yeah.
You know what? I'm going to go mental. I'm going to go with fucking Elden Ring.
Ooh.
Because I'm thinking everything else I'm playing beat 'em ups. They're not massively investment.
You talk about
I'm playing Final
good.
Fantasy dipping on and off.
You talk about
but
Monster Hunter. You talk about all of that. You like it. You talk Monster Hunter
I know,
fighting
but I
games. You
dip
should
in
get
and
good
out
at
of those
that.
games.
Yeah.
I dip in and out of those games. But I think I'm going to do that. I mean, I think I would. I'd get PS5 and Elden Ring.
I think,
because I've got to
Marcus,
make my 4K TV fucking work.
I think, Marcus, that Elden Ring is more you than the rest of us. At the end of the day, it's mad Japanese, reflexy, get good.
And it's also Lord of the Ringsy.
Yeah.
It's Lord of the Rings, it's fantasy, it's slightly scary, but not too far.
Totally.
You know.
Yeah.
It's medieval, nightmarish, scary sort of
Japanese bullshit.
Weird land, yeah. Well, that's the thing. It doesn't really look Japanese at all. It's a Japanese company, but it's like I said, it's like if.
Well, that's why they got George R. R. Martin in, I think, to make it more Western.
J.R. Tolkien, well, even Bloodborne is not really Japanese. That's like a weird Victorian horror. It's like a Penny Dreadful.
Happy days.
Japanese enough. I would probably go with the Big Blue Smurf Simulator.
Nice.
Avatar. Because my sister actually said that if there was an Avatar game, I'd play that. So, yeah, I could show her that and stuff. And
cool.
She might actually play something. I don't know. But yeah, no, I like the look of that. And I like a Ubisoft game. So, yeah, that's it. Okay, let's call it there.
That's cool.
Thanks for listening to the Not Playing Podcast, part of the Not Listening Podcast Network, where you can also find the Not Watching Podcast, where me and Marcus talk about movies and TV, and the Not Listening Podcast, where you can hear Adam, Ash and Will talk about all kinds of nonsensical nonsense. You can email us at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet out or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. You can find the show notes for all our shows at notlistening.co.uk, and if you like what you've heard there, please do leave us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Until next time, stay safe out there.
To agree 'cause I suck. I suck